Hello there folks, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place where I discuss different topics about spirituality, deeper introspection, dream analysis, and well, game analysis as well. This video is another one as part of the wisdom shorts, and it's about a funny realization that people might actually do well with in life, and it's about caring and not caring being one and the same. Now, existing in this universe and the aspect of the mind which basically works specifically on contrasts, many people would say that I care and I don't care are simply two opposites. Well, mainly because of being adapted to using a negative form in verbs and saying when you don't want something, well, that is the opposite of wanting. Well, to a certain extent, that is something in a way true, but there is no such thing as negative. Why? Well, because if you want something or you don't want something, there is no such thing as you don't want something, you just want something else. It is much more comfortable for the mind to simply, embrace as many things as possible because, as I've been saying, the mind will always give comfort to those who feed it the most or to those who feed it best. Why? Because that is the purpose of the mind. The mind is just a tool that we use for survival, and its purpose is to acquire any means and any knowledge that will allow this physical body to survive. It is the only purpose of the mind. Now, if we move further, when you say I care, okay, well, do you consciously care or do you unconsciously care? Because there is a big problem with this. There is a big difference, actually, not a problem. But when you say that you care, many people say that, but they don't care for themselves. So, honestly, they won't care for anyone and anything else. So, it's most likely an unconscious habit of saying I care, okay, or showing that they would care. And when you take actions unconsciously, okay, that means that you are letting patterns control you, okay, that is called karma. When the past of your existence, okay, becomes also your future, then it is called karma. It is a repetitive cycle, which life can also be considered in a way because each life means that you have something to experience. You have certain karma that has to be dispelled in a way to break this karmic cycle. And of course, there will be different means through which you simply experience life. Because in the end, karma is the only thing you will be taking with you after we all perish, right? So, caring and not caring are basically one and the same thing. Because if you don't care for something, that is basically caring. Because think about any time you have simply said, I don't care about that, but it's still in your mind. You're probably suppressing it so well that it enters your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is always active. Now, the conscious mind may be actively thinking on things or may not be actively thinking on things. It's just like a state switch. Okay, in programming there is the so-called state switch, okay, or finite state machine. It's exactly like the gearbox of a car. Only one state is active at a time. So in this case you have the active or the inactive state. So a certain thought may be active in your mind or it's simply not. If it's not, well, then it's most likely active in your subconscious mind because that's what controls a lot of the things. When you do things unconsciously, well, that is a reaction towards something in your past. Okay? Because when something has been done to you that convinced you of a certain thing, that is a belief. You have tried doing something and people tried and kept putting you down up to a certain moment when you said, that's it, I give up. Okay? That is a belief. You've created a belief in your mind that it's not worth keeping to your path. And the moment you gave up, people no longer told you anything. So, those people are most likely there just to pull you down. If only such people are surrounding you, well, most likely they are not friends. Okay, you don't have a circle of friends, most likely you have a cage of friends. And well, guess what? Each of those friends are the bars, and well, you're the one behind the bars. So, the point about not caring is nothing else than an unconscious reaction, which is kind of, uh, well, it's kind of pleonastic because a reaction, okay, is already unconscious. If you take action consciously, okay, you can only act. If you take actions unconsciously, then you only react because those things trigger something within you. And that is something you're probably still not conscious of. Just because you're not conscious of something, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. If you go to a foreign country and you do something illegal, okay, even if even without knowing it, well, there are still repercussions because that law still exists. Just because you're not aware of something, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Why do you think so many people prefer being ignorant? Because they still prefer this illusion that the mind feeds them with, that if they don't know something, okay, it cannot affect them. No, it will affect them, okay? If you stay ignorant, for example, in the face of this pandemic, it's still gonna affect you, one way or another. Even if people use this beach shield to say, hey, you know what, uh, I don't have anything to do with this, it won't affect me. Well, it will. Sooner or later it will. It doesn't matter when, but it will definitely affect you. If something doesn't exist in your conscious awareness, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist in reality. Are you fully aware of the viruses and the such that are around you? I'm not saying anything related to corona specifically, but are you consciously aware of things that are around you? Well, if not, it doesn't mean they're not there. So, not caring is basically the same thing as caring. It's just that one is done consciously, one is done unconsciously. When it is done unconsciously, it is the reaction towards something in your past, okay? Something in your past which you turned into a belief. And a belief can easily become comfortable because, as of what I said, the mind will always give comfort to those who feed it well. You give the mind all the needs and information that you need, and it will feed you well with comfort. So many people find comfort in what they know, but what they know is not them. It's just an accumulation. Everything that we know comes only from the outside. Everything that we know comes from the outside. There is very little that comes from the Akashic records when you tap into yourself, but that is still an outside source. It's not a human source, yes, but it's still an outside source. So if everything that you know is from an outside source, and also everything that you know comes without you having experienced it, then it is just a belief. And a belief means accepting something without the need for proof. Why do you think people say I believe you? Well, they say I believe you because, well, most likely they don't care necessarily, but even if they do, they accept what you have said. But when they accept what you have said, that is the problem. Because if they haven't experienced what you tell them, it is just a belief, accepting it without the necessity for proof. Why do you think people believe the news? Because the news has been tailored in time to give you the impression that they are always telling you the truth. You can easily see the same patterns. They are blinking at a certain time. They're exactly like bots. They're scripted, you know. In order to become a TV presenter, you have to be finessed in a certain way because only that way you can suit the needs of the corporations who usually control the news. The point is, the news finesse you, okay? They adapt you to their needs, okay? They make you believe that what they tell you, okay, is what you should care. And you only care to that because you don't care about yourself. And not caring about yourself means that you're not aware of your mortality, you're not aware of yourself. You're not aware of who and what you are, and you believe that you are irrelevant. And you also believe that life is irrelevant because you may believe that life is not worth living. But again, these are just beliefs, accepting accepted things without the necessity for proof. So what is actually not caring? Well, not caring is basically running away from responsibility and that's it. You may want to shape it into any other comfortable way to accept it, much better, but I'm not here to sugarcoat things. This is how things work. If people do not embrace them the way they are, they will suffer. Because altering your reality will only cause suffering. Not because I do want it, not because I want it. It's because that's how the universe works. The body will signal you when you're doing bad things, because when you're doing bad things, you're actually hurting your physical body. So it will warn you of the things that you're doing. That is why you feel anxiety, that is why you're feeling stress. And, well, you're also hurting your emotional body, you're also hurting each of your bodies. But disregarding these, they will constantly do the best they can so that you can experience things in the best way possible. So, not sharing, okay, not caring, okay, because caring in a way is sharing, okay, because when you care or you not care about something, that is what you impregnate others with. And you'd better be very careful, because that may also happen with your children. If you show them that you don't care about things, they will be impregnated with that, and unfortunately children don't have discernment up till a certain age. When they start creating their own, or you as a parent should be guiding them to, and, well, they will start acting as you. So if they start acting as you and you're an ignorant, guess what your children will also become. And being ignorant is not being happy, despite people saying ignorance is bliss. Because ignorance, have you ever wondered whose bliss that would be? Because, well, ignorance is bliss, but whose bliss is that? Because blissfulness is the complete opposite of ignorance. You can only be blissful in a conscious state, and you can only be ignorant in an unconscious state. You cannot be happy and unconscious. You cannot be unconscious of your happiness. That is how things work. So, if you really enjoy running away from responsibilities, well, unfortunately, suffering and loneliness will always be your watchfellows. When I was young, I would say that, loneliness is my only sister, and her presence at times hurts. But through loneliness, I managed to learn a lot of things about myself. That is how I showed that I really care. Sure, I've taken a lot of this I don't care from others, because when you're surrounded by others, you're kind of bound to become more or less like them, unless you choose consciously to no longer become tainted by what people feel. And, well, not caring means just running away from the responsibility. And you have some responsibilities. Find out who you are, okay? You must be responsible of who you are and what you are, okay? You must be responsible of your own life. If you are not, well, if you don't follow something, if you don't work towards something that represents you, well, most likely you will end up towards things that don't represent you. So basically, you're gonna build other people's lives, okay? Other people's dreams. So all this being said, hopefully this video was informative. Hopefully this video cuddled your imagination. And, well, all this being said, take care. You are loved and appreciated. Ferinjan Board signing out.